Somebody say, put me in the game, coach. 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 Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. What's up, everybody? It's your boy, Smooth Cons here on the Coach Smooth Network. Somebody put in the chat, put me in the game, coach. We're going to get into this segment tonight. Y'all ready? Y'all ready to get into it tonight, man? Are you ready to get into the Coach Smooth Live? Let's get it, man. I'm ready to get into it. Y'all ready to get into it? I'm ready to get into it. Let's do it, baby. Let's go. What's up, everybody? Good to see everybody in the chat, man. I see y'all turning up already, man. Appreciate y'all for pulling up tonight. Listen, we got a different type of segment that we about to be running real quick. Listen, I'm getting right to the nitty gritty. We got some conversations to have. I had in-depth conversations with some of the staff, some of the people that work close with the staff. Not necessarily on-field staff, but I found myself in a good conversation today. I did not know that I was amongst these individuals. Shout out to them. They know who they are. Said that they would check this segment out. They probably wouldn't be able to catch it live, but that's why I'm trying to go ahead and get it out and get it edited so that we can get it out. But before we get into it, I just want to say thank everyone. First of all, thank God for being here today. I'm glad that, you know, he allowed me to see another day. I'm for real excited, y'all. I'm for real excited. Some positive things happening in my life right now. Just enjoying the simple things in life. Just you know, like just being able to see my mom yesterday for Mother's Day. You know, not everyone was able to celebrate that day with their mother. So very fortunate to be amongst those that a populace of people, but more so just being able to see, you know, everyone that was, you know, either had experienced tragedy or couldn't experience Mother's Day in that same form, you know, to see more people in good spirits. And then today to be able to handle some things for my mental health with my veterans benefits. I'm excited about that, guys. That's really going to be a life changer for me and my family, being able to get that stuff squared away. So guys, really, you know, just kind of push the brakes on my anxiety, you know, put the brakes on my anxiety, force me to get in a place and a posture to wait on him. And it's been beneficial, and I'm glad that we are here tonight. And I need to fix this light because it's giving. Oh, let me fix it. It's like perfect right now. Let me fix them up. Let me see. I got some new lights, y'all. Thanks to y'all. Thanks to y'all, man. Those 2 donations last week, man, we went on ahead and ordered those this week with the last, it was 2 donations on the TikTok stream. So we took those. They're not even on the YouTube side yet. I think they donated directly from the TikTok stream. And we went on ahead and ordered some more lights for our lighting. And if I must say so myself, it looks a lot better. So I appreciate y'all for being here today. I have a little buzz on my side. Let me see if it's just me. A little high pitched buzz, but it ain't too bad. Maybe it's just me. I got musician ear, so I hear stuff that everybody don't hear. So hopefully we're here with let me see. I'm gonna go here. Mic check. Okay, yeah, that's way better. What's good, everybody in the chat? Everybody in the chat. I see y'all. Zachary Defense says our defense is going to be elite this year. Roll Tide. Gregory McKinney, my brother Greg. Good to see you. Mary J. Chasing the Bass. What's good? BT, good to see you. Jordan, what's up, family? Shout out to all 19 in the chat right now on YouTube, man. 11 likes. And y'all, just so y'all know, man, we are freaking crushing it. Like, for real, crushing it right now. The subscriber base is growing. We will be going live tomorrow morning with a morning show, doing another segment, kind of rounded out, not rounding out, but continuing the breakdown of this staff, the team, getting more in-depth roster coverage and all of those things. So during this intro segment, while we're talking, we're trying to get on screen a lot earlier. People saying that our intro is too long. I believe it too. I agree. So we're trying to cut that intro down to 2 minutes to allow the live viewers to get in, but also the ones that review it post live. We want to start talking to you, getting you brought in, so you know to go ahead and fast forward to about the 7-minute mark of each video. Anytime you catch a post live, you go to the 7-minute mark. You'll be right there at the beginning of when we're starting our segments. And today we're going to try something. We got two different camera views. We're going to try some different on-screen things, just to kind of just keep it spazazzy. You know what I'm saying? Keep it feng shui. You know, so thank y'all for y'all support, man. Like, for real, it means a lot. Shout out to all 42 between all platforms, man. I can't see how many are on each. Let me see if I can get on TikTok. What's up, TikTok? I got the chat up now. My bad. I was ignoring y'all. That's my bad, family. You know what I'm saying? What's up, TikTok? Good to see y'all. Tap that screen while y'all pull up over there, man. I really appreciate it. TikTok has been a different vibe, man. It's been very consistent. They show up for both sides of the content, which is very reassuring and encouraging for a content creator like myself. So glad to be here with y'all. Glad to get into it. So let's get into it, man. Here on the Coach Smook Network. As a matter of fact, I'm sorry. I don't think I have the right transition uploaded. I don't think I have the right transition uploaded, but we can get it uploaded real quick. That ain't the one. All right, let me get this uploaded real quick, and then I got y'all, chat. Real quick. Why this one not? I don't know what's going on. It don't want to. Let's see. All right, chat. Well, let's get into the show. Here we go. Here on the Coach Smook Network. Hopefully, y'all, this thing work good. If it don't, oh well. Let's get into it. Y'all ready to do it? Let's go.
Remember, when you see me in the streets, holler at me. Say, put me in the game, Coach Smook.
Put me in the game, Coach Smook. Put me in the game, Coach Smook.
Like, share, subscribe. You know we keep it live.
Put me in the game, Coach Smook. 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 Put me in the game, Coach Smook.
Like, share, subscribe. You know we keep it live.
Let's go. All right, let's get into it. All right, so y'all see my TikTok. That's a frozen screen. I don't know why that's up there. But today we have a good conversation to have today. I think everybody's been ready to kind of have this conversation. To me, it's been more so I want to say a steady dose of quality conversation when we had this conversation. And it's about this Alabama defense, chat. This Alabama Swarm defense. Y'all like my graphic with Kane Wommack? Listen, Alabama Swarm defense, man. Y'all know it was like a little spoof type thing last year. People were talking about it was all hype. No nothing around it. You know, just wishful thinking because we had to settle for this coaching staff. Coach Saban's gone. Is it, you know? So we're going to dive into it. We're going to look at the roster a little bit. I just want to give her a quick perspective, right? Quick perspective to look at this. And we'll open up the stats. Y'all know we always like to get into the stats here in this hour segment, but I want your opinion in the chat right now on all three platforms. We got TikTok up, we have YouTube, and we have Twitter. I want your thoughts. Do you think Kane Wommack's mentality and style of defense will allow us to relive which era? Because I think we got glimpses of each era of the Saban era during last season from Kane Wommack's style of defensive play calling. I think we got glimpses of each era. I think we saw early 08 to 2012 era of defense during some games, right? Physicality was a thing. We saw guys really pop. Then you saw like a 2013 to 16, 17, 16 era. Let's say 16. Let's say 16, 17 era, where you just had dominant defenses, right? You saw versions of that at points in time during the last season. And then you also saw versions of the 2019 to 2022 Saban era defense, where we just didn't know who that was and what that was. And you know, you had so many people, this isn't the Bama standard, those people, right? That's what we were living during that time. Tell the truth. It's okay to tell the truth in the chat. So we look at it now, and with all those different type of characteristics, or let's say similarities popping up, where do we sit with Alabama's defense this year? Do you really believe that how this defense finished last year, what do you think their performance peak kind of mirrors when it comes to the Saban era and all the different talented defensive groups that fielded that were on the playing field for Coach Nick Saban during his tenure at Alabama? You're talking about 17 years. You're talking about 50 plus first round draft picks, you know, and a lot of them defensive linemen, defensive backs, linebackers, like defensive players. Where do you all feel that Kane Wommack's style of play calling, the way this team ended last year, what's the peak? Give me an era in the chat and I'll respond to it in another VOD when we continue to dive into the roster during this off season with all of our topics here on the Coach Smooth Network. Now, let's get into the particulars. I'm ready to get into it, talk about the meat of these things. Y'all know I love to do my history, right? I love to do my history. So let's go pull up what I pulled up about Mr. Kane Wommack here. Let me see. Did I have the I didn't. Here we go. And this is what we're going to use. We're going to utilize just what Alabama Athletics have up on his bio. I did one the other day. Y'all know the one I did with Ryan Grubb. A lot of those graphics and stuff didn't show up as well as I thought they would. So we're going to get this one up on the screen here. I should have had my meeting with my mods today, but ain't nobody respond. So I could have had you all screenshotting these. I got caught up in a meeting today, chat, and I think y'all gonna like it, man. I think y'all gonna like what's coming of it. It's going to be very, very beneficial for the members of the channel. Members, meaning like the people that's like really here. Y'all really gonna love what's coming here with the that is not what I wanted to open up. What's coming here with the updated platform access that we're going to have. We've been growing, man. I think we're going to probably be sitting upwards of 5K before the end of June if we just continue to push and promote like we're doing. So I appreciate everybody for being here. So Alabama's defense, let's look at the roster first, and then we'll kind of dive. Let me stop. Let me just talk. Let me go back to the big screen. I just want to go to the big screen. All right, let's talk. So Coach Kane Wommack, he starts his career. Where did my screen go? Y'all, I'm gonna tell y'all right now, my technology, all my stuff been acting crazy. Like for real crazy. I don't know if the devil trying to discourage me or what, but it was very frustrating. But this morning, that's why I had to step out and get out, and ended up stepping into a meeting. So he knew how to get me out so I could run into what I need to run into. All right, so just so we have a little history on Coach Kane Wommack, played at Southern Miss in 2009, so he's around my age, few years older than me. I think Coach Wommack's what, 39, about to turn 40. Was a fullback at Arkansas. So physicality is a mindset, you know, just if you relate to what position he played at high school collegiate level, physical position. So it was probably natural for him to want to be able to learn it in that aspect. Also, being the son of a well-known and impactful defensive coordinator / coach, and Coach David Wommack, who used to coach he was famously known for establishing a 4-2-5 and utilizing it in the SEC. You know, applying a lot of one high schemes and forcing, personnel to get out of running the ball because you were putting an extra personnel in the box, right? That had speed. You weren't adding an extra lineman. You were putting another linebacker. So he got to learn that firsthand from his father. Now we look at the situation. You look at his career. Served as a graduate assistant at Ole Miss while his father was there, right? And immediately start to see opportunities open up. Eastern Illinois defensive coordinator, play caller. First year into really coaching with a full-time coaching job as a play caller, right? Goes to South Alabama after that. Gets a defensive coordinator, linebackers position, right? Play calling there. And then where he started to really come on the map in Indiana. This is the part of the bio that I like to kind of highlight, because the Indiana during this time, 2019 and 2020, we were talking about a defense that was top 10, top 15 ranked. So let's talk about these stats. Served as linebackers coach for Indiana from 2018 to 2020, while also holding the title of defensive coordinator for his final 2 seasons. So for the first year at Indiana, 2018, he was just the linebackers. 2019, 2020, he was the defensive coordinator. Was on 5 finalists for Broyles Award in fall of 2020 after helping IU post a 6-2 mark and a number 12 ranking in the final Associated AP poll. Okay. Indiana led the Big Ten with 17 interceptions and 64% red zone defensive rate. They led the NCAA with this. Look at the numbers that Alabama produced the last 6 games of last year. 68.3% defensive red zone defensive efficiency rate. If you all noticed last year towards the end of the season, Alabama didn't give up a lot of scores in the red zone. A lot of the scores took place from outside of the 20 and out, the green zone, right? And that's we didn't give up a lot of big plays. Our scoring average, the defensive statistically was one of the best defense. I think it was number 4 ranked the last 6 weeks of the regular season. So you're talking about a coach that's got a lot of play calling just experience, has been around play calling, being the son of a defensive coordinator, play calling, jumping into collegiate ball as a graduate assistant, working closely with the play caller. His first job out of being an assistant is a play caller. Eastern Illinois, South Alabama, Indiana for a few years, and then gets to come back home to South Alabama, a place that he's grown fond to love. Head coach there from 2021 to 2023, and we saw South Alabama's program really start to evolve. And even now, what he left behind, I forget coach's name. What was not Nussmeier, offensive coordinator that coached with Nick Saban, is his son. Can't remember the name, it's slipping my brain. But anyways, he leaves behind a solid program at South Alabama to come here last year. You look at last year, let's talk about some of the statistics. And I like how they did this on the athletics page. Shout out to University of Alabama Athletics and their information department and how they set this up. So it says right here, Alabama's defense grew each week as the season wore on in 2024, eventually finishing at number 10 nationally in scoring at 17.4 points per game, the lowest total by a UA defense since 2017. We just talked about, and it was funny that my take initially was to reference those different eras. I saw somebody in the chat say, let me see where it was, 2015 to 2018. I said 2015 to 2017 because 2018 was the year I believe that we had to start those 2 true freshmen in Christian Harris and Shane Lee. We had to start those guys at inside linebacker, and that was a tough year. And 2018 on, Christian Harris had some showing that freshman year, but then the injury started to kind of plague him. A lot of indecisiveness at the inside linebacker position from 2018 up until 2023. Last year was pretty solid with Campbell, Jefferson, lost in rotation. Inside linebacker room was pretty solid. 23 wasn't bad. Coach Saban's last year. lot of undisciplined things, but it wasn't bad. But 22 was horrible. 21 was horrible. 20 was just as bad. 19 was decent, right? So 2017. So they saying that's the best defense that Alabama has seen since 2017. Opponents average just 0.255 points per play, the 6th lowest mark nationally, and 4.7 yards per play to tie for the 8th in Division I. So a top 10 defense in all your major stats towards the end of the season. No, this is throughout the season. I keep saying towards the end of the season, this averaged out. With a few of those, one-off games you had 1 or 2 games where defensively, statistically, the opposing offense was probably on the field longer because of the lack of offensive production that kind of tilted the scale a little bit. But for most part, to average out and stay consistent, this is a solid defense. Top 10 defense in his first year as a play caller at Alabama. So this is why when you have people on their channels crying about fire him and get rid of him, you might want to pump your brakes, because we literally just are looking at these stats, right? We're looking at these stats and we're saying this, and this is a reference that you all can use. This is on the UA website. You can go and look at his bio and it explains it all. All right. So, Womack's 24 group included a pair of All-Americans with 4 All-SEC selections. You had multiple guys with 50 plus tackles. Just like we said, swarm defense. Where we're talking about the swarm defense. Now, let's get into the roster. And I'm not going to bring anything on screen. This is just pure conversation tonight, because when we edit, it's going to look awesome. So hopefully you all that's watching it live, you're engaged. If you're engaged in the chat, give me a Roll Tide for all my Bama fans. If you're not a Bama fan, you're just engaged still. You're trying to get the scoop on what Alabama's roster is looking like, and you trust the word of Coach Smoot. Even though you're not a Bama fan, that's solid. I appreciate you. Represent who you rocking with, who your team is. All right, let's get on to the defensive side. Now, let's start in the secondary. I love what this secondary looks like. Kane Womack style, the read and react presence on the coverage end, on the back end of this defense, is something that I think the skill sets that he had on the roster last year, right? Even with the transition of Coach Saban, the skill sets that Coach Saban left him behind in that defensive back room, I think Kane Womack was ready to kind of expose those personnel to this style of play. And shout out to everybody in the chat, man. Roll Tide in the chat. BT, Roll Tide Jordan, Roll Tide Davin, Roll Tide Deborah, Roll Tide Stanley, Roll Tide Thad. I see y'all, man. Appreciate y'all for showing up. What's up, Russell? Smook said, don't scare me like that. Your past life scared me. Nah, man. I knew that would get the people going, right? It was provocative. But anyways, you look at this secondary room, chat. We have a lot of talent. I just want to highlight this. We have Keon Sabb, Damani Jackson, and Cam Calhoun on the same roster. You're talking about 3 defensive backs who are currently ranked in the top 20 DBs in the upcoming draft class, eligible draft class. 3 of these guys, right? And then you look at another draft eligible personnel, redshirt senior Deshaun Jones, a 4th round draft pick, a fourth round. So you're talking about a top 4 of your top 25, 30 DBs in the country, or 3 or 4 of them are literally on the roster at Alabama in this read and react scheme, where we saw a redshirt freshman in Bray Hubbard come in and just about end up leading the team in total interceptions, because you're putting an athletic skill set, a young athletic skill set in position to drive on passes and dissect concepts in the first phase and not force him into second phase assignments. This zone match scheme on the back end is perfect for guys transitioning to the collegiate level. That's why you hear hype about young men like Dijon Lee. That's why you hear hype about guys being able to play multiple positions like Xavier Mincy and Drake Kirkpatrick Jr., right? So I love it. J. Cole, what's good? Roll Tide. Jason, what's good? Roll Tide, man. Everybody in the chat. So I look at the defensive backs. Cam Calhoun. You talk about Xavier Mincy. We talked about the young guy, Dijon Lee, but also Ivan Taylor. a physical safety, a guy that they want to get more keen to playing at one high, getting into that robber technique that you, because he's a fast guy. He has that lateral speed that you want, that lateral quickness and the ability to change direction quick. You know, open his hips up and get in phase with a third phase concept, right? Roll Tide, Russell. Good to see you, man. Hey, Jesus Christ be with you, J. Cole. Good to see you, brother. Well, yeah, so I look at this defensive back room, and then you got, when you get against those teams that kind of want to play in the box, want to pull you and suck you in and pause and kind of get your team off and get you in a play action pass type game, and guys that have benefited and been smart enough with IQ may not have the elite speed to be third phase coverage guys, but read and react guys that can play safe, and when they see run, they attack run gaps and run fit very well and tackle well in open field. But also when they see play action, they're able to get on their keys and find their assignment and force turnovers or disruptive plays like Bray Hubbard. Somebody that I believe is going to really excel at doing that this year with their opportunities, Red Morgan. Not going to be as antsy with more experience and learning to dissect different passing concepts, offensive passing concepts being thrown at them. Dissect them early in the first phase. And you'll hear coaches saying that. You'll hear coaches saying that a lot when you're talking to safeties, guys that play, you know, we know Red is playing more corner, but I guarantee you he's going to be an asset in dime coverage sets, you know, 5 nickel set. So, you know, I like the personnel in the secondary. We may not have 14, 15, but we have 9, 10. 5 of them can play in multiple positions, and they're all, you know, greatly talented, massively talented. So starting in the secondary, we called out a few names, and those were just names that I kind of wanted to highlight. Then you get down to the linebacker room, man. This is a room that I think is probably the second most attractive on the roster, meaning like when you look at it and you look at the names in that room, you're kind of like, wow, right? Well, on the defensive side, I give it number 1. I'll give it number 1 on the defensive side because there's a lot of them, and this defense requires that athletic hybrid build and style of running, linebacker, to be able to play in this defense and have success. You're talking about bigger guys that may not be as big as defensive linemen or your traditional linebacker playing at your inside linebacker role. Big enough to run fit, but small enough to get out and cover in space and track in space. That's what you see on this roster when they talk about the linebacker room. And I kind of just want to go down the roster of how they have it listed. You got Deontay Lawson, 6'2", 241. Justin Hill, 6'3", 242, true freshman, playing off the edge. Justin Jefferson in that inside linebacker room came to Alabama, 6'1", 200, right, 210. He's at 225. He's more so of that weak side linebacker, that perfect run fit guy, coverage guy that can break off of run fits or read off of play actions and drop underneath, get in third phase coverage with his speed. But Tudor Henry, if we see him get opportunities, I think we see him work at that bandit position a lot more so than the wolf, but also as the big wolf for run fit wolf personnel. Duke Johnson, the 5-star freshman, coming in 6'1", 220, and they definitely want to get him in the weight room and develop that frame. Get him up at 6'1". You want him up to about 220, 230, 235 with his skill set. Very athletic. You got a tight end, a short tight end at linebacker position that is physical, but more so athletic, can get out of space. And to hear that he's been working at the inside linebacker position, that does my heart good. That means he's showcasing the IQ, the ability to get in that film room and understand things. Look at Kelby Collins coming in from Florida transfer, 6'4", 285. They got him listed as a linebacker. We know that the bandit position is like your old school true defensive ends. Same thing with John Latham, and they moved him over to that wolf position, but he's more so of a wolf bandit, going to give you some girth and size at that wolf position in that rotation. Noah Carter, 6'4", 242. Luke Metz, 6'3", 230. Caden Jones, another one that's been silent. Everybody's been silent about as he's worked back from his injury, kind of getting buried in the depth chart, but still going to be a key asset if we were to have any injuries. Experienced sophomore, guy that's been in the system with Kane Womack. His first system was Kane Womack Systems. Going to be able to grow in the system if he sticks it out. I like his chances there. Abdul Sanders, true freshman, 6'2", 233. There's been buzz, and I've seen it. He's one of them. He's one of them. And I think he has a chance to really get in that inside linebacker rotation if, Deontay Lawson struggles early in the season coming back from an injury. And that's the risk you have. Coming back as a fifth-year guy, gray shirt guy, that's the risk you run, because this new talent's not waiting. QB Reese is another one, right? Nakai Hill-Green, another one in that linebacker room. Yanzi Pierre. All right. Then to the D-line, man. This is the group I'm excited about. When I call out these names, I think we utilize every asset in this D-line room. I don't think there'll be a game where we don't see at least 7 or 8 defensive linemen get 5+, 6+ reps. Every one of them. I don't think there'll be an even spread where everybody getting 6, but I think everybody will get a minimum of 6 in this defensive line room. Talented room. Talented room, chat. I think it's one of the more it's the second best room on the roster on the defensive side. I would argue and say, as far as talent available, like ready to play right now, this is the number one team. Like, no questions asked. You can throw anybody on this D-line out there on the field right now. Any group of 3 true defensive linemen on that front, and I think you'll get equal production. Maybe a little bit more with a more experienced group that has been at the collegiate level and seen the speed of the college game. But as far as impact, opportunities, and plays, effectiveness, I think you don't see a drop-off with either one of these, any grouping of these defensive linemen. And the fact that you have so many versatile guys that can play tackle, nose, and true end, right? That's a scary group to deal with. Let's talk about it. I had to text somebody real quick. All right, so we're talking about Jordan Renard, number 11, 6'4", 260. And this is a guy that's going to play tackle, right? Somebody say 260 at tackle, yes. Because he was 275, 280 last year. So they slimming their tackles down to be able to provide more so of a contain, one gap fit, get more so into your lean pass rush builds, and still able to maintain that strength and power, that ability to generate force where you're in your pass rush or in your bull rush, right? LT Overton, we saw him really flash last year, 6'5", 280. James Smith, 6'3", 295, another interior guy that I'm telling y'all, man, James Smith healthy is dangerous. Be careful, watch your back. Steve Bola Mbuma, I think he's in his 4th year of playing football, American football. His 4th year of playing football, maybe 5th, junior, senior year. No, this is his 4th year. He's a true sophomore. He played at JUCO last year. This is his 4th year playing football. And football in his life, chat. Listen to what I'm saying. This is his 4th year playing football in his life. And he's going to be a part of this rotation for the University of Alabama. And he's a monster, chat. 6'4", pushing 300. Backing up Tim Keenan in that rotation. We're going to need that. He's ready. I don't think they're going to waste any time playing 25. We all know what Keon Keeley is coming to do. I think this is the year he pops. I wouldn't be surprised if Keon Keeley has a crazy year. He jumps in that in that draft. He's eligible this year. As a redshirt sophomore, he will be eligible. Asaya Faga continuing to develop. Really filled out his frame. No more baby fat. Maui. If y'all ever seen Moana, you know what I'm talking about. The boy is strong, rock solid, and athletic. But more so a wrecking ball in the interior of your defense, right there at the point of attack in the center of the defense. That's where you want to side fake it. Jeremiah Beaman, I think this is his year, chat. A mean guy. Shout out to y'all for the 25 likes on the stream on YouTube, man. Appreciate y'all for real. Let me go check TikTok. I have not been looking at the TikTok chat. I'm so sorry. Y'all, charge it to my heart. I mean my head, not my heart. Go Noahs, I think the atmosphere in Tallahassee keeps us in the game week 1. Okay. Shout out to you over there on TikTok, my guy. Walker Colt, thank you for tapping in. Hopefully, chat, if anybody can, go check the YouTube feed. I can't see the dash, and this is not the right category. That's probably why. Here we go.
All right, there we go. Now I should fix it in the algorithm. So I look at everybody in that defensive line room. I think Jeremiah Beam is one that's going to pop. Edric Hill is another one. 6'3", 282, redshirt sophomore. You got a lot of guys that could be eligible for the draft. Don't be surprised if somebody like Edric Hill pulls a Quentin Williams on us. Redshirt sophomore, first year full-time starter. Goes crazy. Quentin Williams kind of did. If y'all go back and watch game clips from last year, look at 94 and how active he is and how, you know what I'm saying, effective he is when he is in the game. A lot of times when he was in the game and we didn't have the Tim Keenan, Tim Smith, the Tim and Tim combo, Edric Hill, Damon Payne, those guys were out there. And we saw a lot of effectiveness. L.T. Overton, you know, Tim Keenan. So that defensive line room, like I said, I think we utilize all those guys and see a lot of production from them too. I don't think I missed the defensive line. You got Landon Simmons showing up, true freshman. He might be the odd one out just because of the simple fact you're coming on campus in the fall. But I think he understands what type of opportunity he has to develop this first year. Okay. Now, I want to propose the question to you all in the chat. What's up, Lady Tamara TV? Good to see you in the chat. Says Roll Tide. Kareem Hood, I see you, brother. Good to see you, man. Now, I want to propose this question to the chat. Musalani Chandler says, I think D-line play stay strong for years to come. Got some dogs coming in 2026, and that's what we want to talk about Thursday. We have a special segment Thursday for Alabama Recruit. I'm trying to lock it in, but I have maybe a quartet of targets joining us for I guess I'm trying to do a round table, even if it's not this Thursday. We're trying to really establish ourselves. We're trying to plant our flag here in the industry. So be on the lookout for that, chat. Shout out to everybody in the chat on YouTube, everybody that's tapping the screen on TikTok. Thank you all for your support. We will be gaming tonight on TikTok, so y'all tap in for that if you are here. But that's a little segue. Oh man, what I was about to say. Oh yeah. So talking about the defensive philosophy, what does Kane Wommack's approach look like in your eyes this year? Looking at how much experience and production that he's returning, you're talking about a defense that lost Malachi Moore, Devontae Smith, in the secondary, guys that were kind of, Malachi Moore was probably more of an impact than Devontae Smith. Devontae Smith made plays, but he didn't really get a lot of opportunities. You saw Bray Hubbard come in and kind of push him back on the depth chart. You saw Zay Mincy start to push Devontae Smith for playing time. They were splitting reps. You even saw Drake Kirkpatrick start to get the nod a lot more. Cam Howard, Deshaun Jones. So you see guys, Devontae Smith hit the portal. Malachi Moore goes to the draft. Who else did we have in the secondary we lose? I think that was it from the secondary. You lose those two guys. As far as impact players, guys that played or started, played a heavy role. But you're bringing back Keon Sabb. You're bringing back Bray Hubbard. You're bringing back Damani Jackson. You're going to get Cam Calhoun. What type of philosophy do you utilize with these type of guys? I tell you what type of philosophy you utilize. You utilize. I'm sorry, I'm getting excited. You utilize the same philosophy you had last year. This is a scheme that guys were just picking up on, and the language and the concepts they were just starting to translate and just starting to play football towards the end of last year. Now, I would love to see a free Damani Jackson, a Damani Jackson that's comfortable in every play call. I would love to see a comfortable Ivan Taylor. I would love to see a comfortable Chuck McDonald, who will be Chuck McDonald will be joining the roster in the fall. I mean, here in the summer. Like, though, you're talking about some super athletic guys who have dominated at the high school level, and we're seeing true freshmen come in every year and have impact. And we know that Coach Mo Linguist loves to get deep in his rotation as far as utilizing his defensive backs, especially on the boundary. We saw a lot of rotation at the boundary last year. Go look, and it wasn't due to injuries. Quality play. Damani Jackson didn't play 90 snaps a game. He didn't play 75 snaps a game. Bob played a lot of snaps last year on the boundary. Zabian, Deshaun Jones, a lot of guys, man, they played that boundary. Hold on, y'all. Let me get some water. So I look at it. And I think of the concept and the philosophy, and I think you'll see a lot more press man this year. You'll see a lot more zero in those third and short situations, because I think the technique that Coach Mo is teaching, you're trusting guys to really hug underneath on your quick out breaking or inner breaking routes. You're trusting guys to kind of, you know, play within the grand scheme of how the rules have evolved in pass defense when the ball is in the air. So this is a scheme that benefits from the tutelage of and the training style and technique teachings of Mo Lindquist, right? I think we benefit from that. Linebacker wise, we saw this. I want to say scrimmage. The second scrimmage I saw it. It's like your linebackers, they were focused on getting guys in, you know, learning to get their depth in their drops. We didn't give up a lot in the mids last year in the intermediate, in the middle of the field. If y'all noticed, I don't think y'all noticed. But what we did do when it was drop calls, you had guys having problems of breaking out of their drops and getting in proper run fits. So I think that was a point of emphasis this spring. Smart defensive coordinator like Kane Womack came up with, you know, hey, we got to get it. And we saw that. You saw Noah Carter, you know, do like 15 drops during the spring practice viewing from the linebacker position. You know, Quay Russaw, same thing. You saw Quay Russaw making plays. You saw Justin Hill making plays in the pass game in some clips, picking Austin McIntyre Simpson off. So these are things that happen, you know, when I'm paying attention to staff developing players. What type of position are we seeing these guys being put in? Yes, practice, yes, spring, but you know, repetition, that's what it's all about. Repetition, getting guys used to doing things. So when he gets in the game, if he has to adjust the speed at which he's doing it, that's easier to do than to try to learn how to do it in game. Somebody said experience is the best teacher. Yeah, but in the game of football, experience can get you a loss and have you on the hot seat or riding the pine pony. I ain't gonna do it. 2025, we doing something new. Hey, but we get into it, y'all. We get back into the conversation and we think about where Alabama football can be defensively. We drop down to the defensive line. And I trust this defensive line, one, because I have a strong core leadership group, right, with experience. There's not a lot of young guys. Everybody in this defensive line room played last year. And let's just say the defensive front, not just the linebackers. When I think of linebackers in this scheme, I'm talking about the inside linebacker room and the edge rushers. When I think about defensive line, I'm talking about the bandit position. I'm talking about the defensive tackle and the nose tackle, right? That front, we really run a 3-man front on the defense. We drop the linebacker to play a wide 9 technique, and I think or he might head up over the tackle depending on what the formation is in the call. But it's not really true for defensive linemen. They just align 4 on the defensive lineman level, 2 on the linebacker level, and 5 as secondary. I like the combination of the trios of personnel we can throw out there in our defensive line room. And what type of scheme can you utilize in this? So let's say we want to get into a real aggressive pass rush play calling set, right? With a base group of personnel. And you're going to have to visualize this, and I'm going to try to cut this in and edit it in. Let's say we have a personnel grouping at the bandit position. You got Keon Keeley. At the defensive tackle position, at the nose tackle position, you have Tim Keenan. And then at the defensive tackle position, you have Edric Hill, right? But then we want to get into contain. We want to get into contain. The quarterback is stepping up in the pocket. He's outrunning the interior pressure, the interior push, or he's getting behind the stunt that's coming from the middle, or the slant that's coming from the middle, and the guy that's slanting is not able to backtrack and trace, right, and keep it to minimal gain. So now let's get a little smaller but not weaker. So let's keep Keeley out there at the bandit position, but let's bring in possibly Jeremiah Beeman to fill the nose tackle position right there in the center. 6'4", 312, more lean frame, faster get off than some, majority of your interior defensive linemen, right? Has the frame, has the height to, if he can't get to the quarterback, get your hand up, going to provide some disruption there. And then at your defensive tackle position, you can throw the likes of maybe a Kelby Collins or a LT Overton or somebody that can really get some pass rush. And then you got a Wolf sitting out there to the edge of this. So there's so many different ways you can align personnel. And think of the names that I just called out. Anybody in college football would love to have all those 6 or 7 4-star and 5-star guys that I just called out, have access to them and put them in a rotation, let alone have them as starters on their roster. So philosophy, I really truly believe that this year Kane Wommack is going to really get in his bag as far as aggressive play calling style. I think his persona, even in the interviews, he carries that demeanor as if that's what he wants to do. He's not one to want to leave a play behind. If you watch the documentaries on the Tides That Bind, if you all watch those documentaries, what's up, Ray? Good to see you in the chat, man. You saw how intense Coach Wommack is, during practice. He's a player's coach, but the intensity that he demands from his players, because he displays it in his coaching. He displays it. And you can appreciate that, one, as a fan, but also as a fan who came from an era where physicality was preached, right? Toughness was preached. Shout out to Ray Parham with the $2 super chat, man. Appreciate you, Ray. My guy, give him another one, chat. W's Ray Parham in the chat. Roll Tide, Ray. And don't forget to drop a like on the stream, man. We got 33 people in the chat, 28 likes. We need 2 more likes to get to 30, man. Help your boy get to 30 likes on the stream. And where we at? We got about... Okay, we got about 12 minutes left on the show, so make sure y'all go ahead and get them likes in for your boy. We got 53 in the chat here on YouTube. Thank you for showing up here on the Coach Smoot Network and popping in. Make sure you drop a like on the stream. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. We are on the way to 3.1K. We just hit 3K yesterday or 2 days ago, and we're almost at 3.1. We've almost gained 100 followers in the last 2 days. So I really appreciate y'all for sharing the word and hitting that like button, subscribing to the channel. Now let's finish off this conversation. I was kind of giving my closing remarks on what I believe Coach Kane Wommack's style and play calling and how this benefits the University of Alabama. What does this look like for the 2025 Alabama defense? We talked about personnel. There's a few guys in this room that on this defense that I think will be dark horses, and Kane Wommack will take a liking to kind of dialing them up in special moments, right? Number one for me, I think right now, we know Coach Wommack loves to kind of rely on his safeties and inside linebackers to kind of guide his defense. That's where he likes to throw his tricks and backs from the middle of the defense. It kind of forces you to throw arid or move arid in the middle, which is not good when you're talking about turnovers, or be arid on the perimeter. Shout out to Ray for renewing his AAA membership. Ray, you missed it the other day. We got our party on. We celebrated a year last Monday. Oh yeah, also I almost forgot my birthday. We on the countdown to my birthday. We got 7 days. Next Monday we'll be celebrating chapter 35 for Coach Smoot, man. Yes, God, thank you. So grateful. But looking at it, you look at this defense. Are we poised to be as aggressive as I believe Kane Wommack will be? Yes. You look at the statistics from last year. There was maybe a 4 to 6 week stretch where you saw flashes, right? But then after that Vanderbilt loss, I think our defense performed consistently. The Oklahoma game, look at the snap counts, look at the time of possession. It wasn't our defense's fault. Broken play here and there, that's not a lot of those games are not defensive losses. So I think right now, this team is more poised than most think. One, because you have more assets available than you usually have had in the past. I think Kane Wommack has been very vocal about announcing that. You get what I'm saying? I think he's been very vocal about, having an opportunity to coach the skill sets that he has available right now at the University of Alabama. Never has had it, even at Indiana. And I think he gets more so excited because of the flexibility on the defensive line, right? Being able to utilize those guys the way that he's going to be able to utilize them. The type of stunts that he's going to be able to use and not have to, commit extra assets like a 4th or 5th linebacker to have a successful pass rush. I think we're going to see a crazy productive defense. I'm gonna set the over under for the chat. Over under on turnovers, total turnovers this year for this defense. I'm gonna say 31. 31 over or under, chat. 31 and a half turnovers. So do you think this defense is going to be able to force 32 turnovers next season? I think so. You're talking about a 12-game season, averaging about 2 to 3 turnovers a game. You're going to have 1 or 2 one-offs where you get 5, 6 turnovers. I think Bama could do it. Kareem said, we're loaded on defense. They may carry the team early on. We're so stacked. Ray Parham says over on 31 and a half turnovers. I like that, Ray. And again, Ray, appreciate the $2 super chat. Says, put me in the game, coach. I got you, Ray. Appreciate you, my guy. Thank you for becoming a co-sponsor on today's stream with your super chats. And don't forget, chat, anytime you catch us live and you super chat, that promotes you as a co-sponsor. We're going to get this set up to where we can adjust the banner here on the OBS side of things. But you all know on StreamYard, you'll be right there on the screen. That's why we kind of put it up like this, so that everybody can know that you're a co-sponsor on today's stream. Kareem Hood says, with that being said, that means the offense should be better because of a more experienced play caller. 100%. 100%. And I think it will be. We will talk about the offense tomorrow. I will talk about Ryan Grubb again tomorrow. As a matter of fact, I think I did Ryan Grubb already. We talked about the offense, Kareem. I don't know if you saw the Ryan Grubb video. Go check it out. It's a VOD out already. Did we do Kane Womack yet? Now, I think tomorrow, let's vote right now in the chat. Give me a 1 if you want me to do Nick Sheridan. Since we did defense today, you want me to do Nick Sheridan, or do y'all want me to do Coach G? 1 for Nick Sheridan, 2 for Coach G. Give me some feedback, chat, as we get ready to close down the chat, close down the stream here on the Coach Smoot Network, man. Hey, I appreciate everybody for tapping in too, man. That was fun. Alabama's defense. Final predictions. I think this will be a top 5 defense statistically. I look at the schedule and how it lines up. You're talking about opening up against Florida State, who's going to have a lot of questions. Maybe we benefit from them not having many answers. Cody Cole on TikTok says we have to be one of the most stacked teams in the nation, both sides of the ball. On paper, we look very good. On paper, we look very good. So I measure it up and I think about some of the statistics that we kind of led in throughout the whole season. We did not commit a lot of defensive penalties. We did not have as many defensive pass interference downfield as we had in the last 2 years. Those were big improvements that we could not get towards the latter end of Saban era. Most of our penalties on the team last year came from the offensive line and Jalen Miro. So I think we clean up a lot of things where it was just a lot of miscommunication. This defense is excited. And I got to keep saying this. There's a reason why nobody entered the portal. Cam Calhoun, Deshaun Jones, redshirt senior, is not starting. Why didn't he enter the portal? There's got to be something attractive about these schemes on both sides of the ball, that you're getting the type of players out of the portal. Isaiah Horton come to Bama. What's the young man name I just was talking about? Nakai Hill-Green come from Colorado. Come to Bama and are literally schematic fits. Talking about a blessing. Talking about a blessing, chat. That's the football god smiling down on Alabama. When your portal assets come looking for you and they fit. So I'm excited about that. But that's it for this segment, man. Hopefully y'all enjoyed it. Listen, we are getting into these VODs. They are really driving in the viewership. I like doing them. We're not down here lollygagging, with a whole bunch of small talk. We handling business. We talking football. We ain't crying about whatever. We literally in here doing what we do. And I'm telling y'all, I've been crying my eyes out today. 20 years ago, a few hours from now, it'll be when my grandmother got in this accident, man. Y'all know how much my grandmother meant to me. So today, I've been crying my eyes out, but at the same time, I've been so motivated because I know she would be vibing on this show. My grandma probably would not know how to use the doggone cell phone. Or never mind that sassy thing. She would have been using a cell phone, hitting us every day. My grandma would have been a FaceTime granny. You know what I'm saying? That granny that don't know how to use the phone regular no more. Just feel like they got to FaceTime everybody. How many of y'all got them grandparents out there on TikTok, Facebook, Twitch, Twitter? How many of y'all got them? I don't have any biological grandparents alive, but I know for a fact if my grandma Juliet and my grandma Mary was still alive, man, be some FaceTiming fools. We would be some FaceTiming fools every day. It wouldn't be it wouldn't be no doggone phone calls, man. I'd probably be getting phone calls during the show because she wouldn't know how to set her notifications up. Stank, what you doing, Stank? I'm live, Granny. Oh, let me get on. I'm gonna call you after the show, okay? Like I just told you I'm on, Granny, and I wouldn't care. So once again, for all the mothers that celebrated Mother's Day yesterday, happy belated Mother's Day. Again, we said happy Mother's Day, pre-Mother's Day. We said it yesterday, and we're gonna say it again. Thank you all for all that you do. Fathers, we're up, all right? Don't let them take it from us. I don't care what they say. It ain't for them to give to us anyways. Let's appreciate each other. But for those that do appreciate us, I appreciate you. So fathers, get ready. We're gonna do something special here on the network, man. And I wish I would have thought of something to do for the mothers. I was just so focused on trying to get home to see my mommy. So I'm grateful for each and every one of you all that's here today, that's tapped into the content. Continue to like, share, and subscribe to the channel. And if you want more content like this, make sure you hit the notification button on our channel. Subscribe and make sure your notifications are on, so when I go live, you don't miss the lives. And if you're checking in post live, leave a comment. Let me know which coach you want to see next. Right now in the chat, it's an overwhelming number of 2s, so that means we'll go ahead and say 50% right now. We got 33 in the chat. We'll say 33 in the chat have said Gillespie. But if you're watching this post live, leave a comment. If we can get 10 comments to say otherwise, we'll go and do Nick Sheridan, and you'll find out which one it is. Thursday. Well, no, we're gonna post this Friday. We posted it Friday. We're gonna post it Friday of this week. So either way, it's getting done. Thank you all for being here, supporting the Coach Smook Network. And as always, when you see me in the streets, holla at me and say, put me in the game, Coach Smook. I'll catch y'all on the next one. Be blessed, y'all. I love